Okay, so I'm back again. And now I am going to show you how you can figure out what is the name of the wildflowers that you're finding in the woods. So I'm going to share my screen with you. And here we are back to the plant that I think we're going to try to figure out the name of that I showed you earlier. So notice that this plant has 5 petals. The flowers are white. The leaves are smooth around the edges. Sometimes plants have little teeth on the leaves. And I don't know if you can tell from this picture or not. You would probably have to be there in the woods and really make a careful note of the leaf arrangement. But this plant, the leaves come off this little stem in an alternate arrangement. They're not directly opposite each other. They're alternate. So we have a bunch of information now that we can use to help us figure out what this plant is. And we're going to use a website called Go Botany. Botany is the scientific study of plants. So this website, Go Botany, is a great place to help you figure out what plant you're looking at. And to find it, what I would suggest you do is just go to the web and search for Go Botany. It will bring you to this awesome website that's put together by the Native Plant Trust. And at this website, all of the plants that live in New England are included in this website, and you can go to this website to try and figure out what plants are what. So lots of people use this website, professors like I do, professionals, but also regular people. And if you're just starting out trying to figure out what your plant is, you want to use this right here called the Simple Key. So once you get to their website, you can either click over here, get started, or over here on Simple Key. And now what a key does is it's a way to help you narrow down your choices. It's almost like a scavenger hunt. You answer a bunch of questions or you pick a couple of things. It helps you to get closer and closer to what your plant actually is. So the first thing that you're going to need to do is answer this question: which group best describes your plant? And there are only a few groups here, 6 maybe, that you have to look at to figure this out. And I'll help you through this. So the first group is woody plants. And it tells you here that these are plants that pretty much are trees or shrubs. Ours is not a tree or a shrub. It's a very small wildflower. It's not an aquatic plant. It's not growing in the water. It's not a grass. We can skip that. It's not an orchid. Orchids are very specialized plants, and there's not very many orchids that we have here. Lady slippers, if you know that flower, that's a type of orchid. And it's not a fern. Everyone pretty much knows what ferns look like. They don't have flowers, for one thing. However, this is a fun place to go and look up ferns. If you get into that, you can try to figure out what the ferns are in your backyard too. But here's where we want to be. We want to be in all other flowering, non-woody plants. So you just pick my plant is in this group, and it takes you to the next page. And now we have to decide which subgroup we're in. We only have 3 choices this time. The first choice is daisies, goldenrods, and asters. Our plant flower doesn't look like this. It's not a daisy type flower. So we're going to skip that one. And we have to choose between these 2. Just so you know, this big word herbaceous just means that it's not woody. It's a plant that does not have wood. So both of these are non-woody plants. But here's the key. This group, the leaves are alternate. And in this group, the leaves are opposite or whorled, or no leaves at all. So we know that our little wildflower had alternate leaves. So we're going to pick this one. My plant is in this subgroup. And now it gets a little bit more fun, because here you get to answer a bunch of questions that help you to narrow down what your plant might be. So over on the left-hand side are all kinds of questions that you can answer if you know the answers. You can even get more questions if you want. Right now, there's 291 plants that it could possibly be. Well, that's a lot of pictures to look at. So I'm going to answer some of these questions. I'm going to say, well, I know that I found this in Maine. So here we go. Then I'm going to see leaf type. Are my leaves compound, made up of two different leaflets? Does it look like that? No. Mine looks like this, simple leaves. So I'm going to go ahead and pick that one. Flower petal color. I know that. It's white. So I can pick that. What else can I answer? Leaf arrangement. Definitely we know that. We know they're alternate leaves. So let's pick that one. And then remember I said you can also, there are other questions that you can answer as many as you want, and it will help you narrow the list here. This is leaf blade edges. So are your leaves lobed like an oak? Are they toothed? No, ours were smooth, remember? So I'm going to pick that one. The other thing I didn't show you in the beginning, but you can actually, and I think some of you learned a little bit about habitats. You can say what habitat was your plant living in. Was it aquatic, in the water? No. Terrestrial means it was growing in the land, on the land, not an aquatic habitat. So that's where our wildflower was found. And it was not found in a wetland. So I can pick that. And that narrows me down. So now I have 56 plants that it could be. So what I usually do is I look through the pictures and I see if I can find my plant. And if it looks like something might be my plant, I click on it and it gives me more information to help me decide. So let's see if I'm scrolling down here. This one, but those are different flowers than what I have. Oh, wait, what's this over here? Trailing arbutus. Let's click on that one. So here is what looks like it might be our plant, and we can go to a page that tells us all about it. So trailing arbutus, here's the scientific name, and this will give you some more pictures to look at. And you can take a look at the pictures and see if you think that might be your plant. Looks like it comes in pink too. And after you've been out there in the woods, in the field, and looked at the plant carefully, and you have your drawings in your journal, you should be able to tell from looking at the pictures whether you have the right thing or not. Now, I'll be honest with you, often I don't get the right plant the first time I go through this and come up with an answer. So sometimes you have to backtrack and make a different choice or add some more information to try and narrow it down. But one of the really important things is that leaf arrangement. If you get that right, and sometimes you can answer questions about how many petals there are. So you can look and learn all kinds of cool stuff about your wildflower too, not just what its name is, but also some characteristics, things that you might have noted in your field journal, where it lives, what state, and down here it tells you if it might be a rare plant. This plant that we just found, trailing arbutus, is not a rare plant. And it says unranked. That means it's not rare at all. It hasn't actually been given any kind of rare ranking. So anyway, that's how you can figure out what your plant is. And then you can go back to your journal and you can write down the name. You can put the common name, trailing arbutus, or you can put the scientific name. And just so you know, the reason I think this one's called trailing arbutus, I'm not sure about the arbutus part, but the trailing part, if you look at these, when you see them in the woods, they do kind of trail along the ground. They don't stand up really erect. They're more like a trailing along the ground kind of plant. So there we go. We discovered the name of our wildflower. So I hope that you'll have fun with this and that you'll be able to get outside and figure out what some of the wildflowers are in your area. I will also tell you, if you don't have flowers yet, you can also look for berries, because some of the plants still have berries from last year. And I believe in Go Botany, there's a question that you can answer about the berries. What color are they? That kind of thing. So I hope you have fun with this, and it'll give you something fun to do outside while we wait for the warmer weather and before the bugs come. All right, have fun.